All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Tellor Dev Call, July 15th. So halfway through July. Yeah, things are going well. So
Yeah, we just got back from EthCC.
yeah, we can start it off there. How was it, Brenda?
Yeah, no, it was honestly really busy, which is really good for us. Really busy. Obviously, we went to the Stable Summit, then EthCC, and several side events. And, there's still a lot of people building, a lot of risk-taking talks, Nick, that you would have been excited for, I think, or at least anyway, but it was great. I had Caleb and Ryan with me, so we were able to really expand and get to a lot of the events. And it's just nice to see that everybody's continuing to build and pushing through. So, well,
Yeah, Ryan, similar thoughts. How would it kind of compare to last year? I think you had one, right?
I did not go
I don't-
last year, but I don't know. It definitely felt like this was one of the events of the year that like everyone was at. Um,
yeah.
and I do remember that from the last ECC I was at, which was 2021. But yeah, there was just a lot of good panel talks that I feel like were kind of shout out to Stable Summit. I think they put on a really solid event. Shout out to Party Action people. But yeah, it definitely felt like this was the event that everyone kind of had to be at, middle of the year, kind of get a sense of what the overall vibe is of the crypto space in general. I got a sense that it was very skewed towards infrastructure. Like I think that was kind of the general consensus, was that the theme was heavily skewed towards the infrastructure side.
It was way bigger than last year's or EthCC. EthCC is generally in the same venue, and it has been for a few years. This venue was a lot bigger. It just felt like there was a lot more talks, more rooms to discuss things, and just in general, in terms of the amount of people. I don't know if it's because the venue is much bigger, the event was much bigger. Also, the side events.
So many side events.
It was at least probably twice as much as last year. So It was really great that the guys came, because it's kind of hard to go to all of the events, but it's nice to have support and be able to be present or feel as much as possible as Tellor in different events. But it was much bigger than last year's. Yeah, so we'll see next year, but I feel like everybody's usually here in Denver and DEF CON, so.
Thanks. Yeah, well, thanks for going, guys. I'm excited. If anybody watching finds any good talks, definitely link them. I'm working my way through half of them, but
the EthCC archives have all the videos up now since the weekend, and there's a lot. It's overwhelming.
well, and that's just ECC.
The
Like,
Modular Summit too.
yeah,
That's another 3-day conference that happened and in between. So
and
a
then
lot
the
of
Stable
CP
Summit.
talks. I'm sorry?
And then the Stable Summit talks too. There's
Stable
just
Summit.
so many.
But there were several. There was like a room with a bunch, like a different CK talks on the Modular Summit. So
yeah,
it's a lot to watch, a lot of content, but that's good. Like there's still a lot of things being built. There's a lot of research to be done now that we've gotten the summary of what they're working on. We can actually go and look at the white papers and look at what's on GitHub and what, how that matches. But
cool. Yeah. Well, thanks again, guys. As far as the rest of us, we're working mainly on Layer. Have to tell, I know a lot of validators have messaged me, but we're going to be pushing the testnet a little bit. Found some issues launching on testnet last week. And yeah, so thanks for the people that are already looking. But we're kind of taking it down, and we'll spin it back up here really shortly. Let you guys know. So yeah, that said, Spuddy, how's things going?
Yep, working on layer. That's the plan.
All right. Dan, Slayer stuff.
Yep. Yeah, unit testing has been going well. Going to be doing some local testing with the chain running.
Nice. Oh, and I didn't say, I'm actually having lunch today with Taraxa, which is a chain. Apparently they had called us to launch over on them, and he lives like 20 minutes away, which is kind of weird. But yeah, so we'll have hopefully
Not common.
Not common, but yeah, hopefully
Yes.
we'll be up on Taraxa here shortly. We're already up on their testnet, and then but that'll be a cool one. Had to give a shout out there. Yeah, Akram, how's things?
Things are fine. I'm working on layer module tests. Also going to be trying to run the chain, add validators, see how that goes. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on layer as well.
Cool. And Ryan, we know you just got back, but
Yeah, I'm gonna follow up with all the contacts I made at EthCC, and then I'm gonna pick back up. I was working on some documentation for Snapshot and getting a Kepler wallet. So finish those off.
and then I guess what's the timeline too for the Block Explorer for testnet?
It's a great question. There's a semi-working version now, but I think it'll be useful to kind of see what we want to prioritize in terms of what's like the MVP to make it usable, and then go from there.
Yeah. We'll have to follow up maybe later today. We can do. We're working on a bunch of monitors for the testnet as well. So
Okay, cool.
I think a lot of those we can kind of wrap into the Block Explorer. Kind of like how most Block Explorers have like monitor pages as well. So we'll see what makes sense there.
Cool.
But cool. Tim?
Yeah. So working on adding some more validators to our AWS existing testnet, and then I'll try to join that as well from my Mac. So I haven't tried that with the public testnet yet. And then I already have a little bit of monitoring from last week that I can run on the existing testnet. Yeah.
You're not supposed to say AWS on public calls, right? We run them all in the desert on hardened.
Yeah.
Yes. Satellites.
Different AWS.
Yes. It's just testnet, but yeah. No. Anyway, cool. Mike, you need anything?
Nope. I'm just like the rest of us, still going to continue doing what we were doing from last week, and all the usual stuff as well. But yeah, I'm good.
Well, I just want to say I talked to a lot of people this last week and a half, and you guys are doing an amazing job. People continue to, I meet people not always expecting that they know us, but they, a lot of people know Tellor now, and they're always so surprised that the team is so small. Like, we are so productive. We're so seriously. Every time we talk, like they expect me to say like we're like, I don't know how many people, and I'm like, no, we're like 9, and it always amazes them. So it's and with that, like, obviously, like, you guys are doing amazing. We push a lot of information out. We work very quickly with everything that we do, even though we're a small team, I don't think people when people realize how small of a team we are, they're always amazed at how much we actually do and how quickly we ship things. So keep that up, guys. And they know us, so it's great.
Awesome. Yeah, any questions today?
I did not see any questions.
Cool. Yeah, well, thanks everyone.
There's definitely questions, guys.
Oh,
They are?
you got questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of them is, will we ever support Pulse Chain?
So we might. I think there's an, if you want to, I'm echoing Spuddy, but
Oh,
yeah, if you want, there's, so Pulse Chain has a fork of, or multiple forks of Tellor already over there. Yeah, so you can use them right now. I mean, the way that we're pivoting to kind of supporting chains in the future is with Layer. So Layer is actually its own blockchain, and then anybody can basically just deploy a light client smart contract on it and read trustlessly from our smart contract. So there won't
From
be
our chain.
yeah, right now we have this weird thing where like we have to go deploy smart contracts on another chain and, you know, bridge tokens over, and usually you would want some team support to at least, you know, to make sure that it's secure and things like that. Whereas in the future, there's going to be none of that. You can just sort of use Tellor. You don't have to talk to us. So that's kind of how we're thinking about the future and integrating. So will we support Pulse Chain? I don't know. If somebody wants to use this on Pulse Chain, they can use this like they do on any other EVM network and just deploy the smart contracts and read it from Layer. So that's going to be our answer kind of as we roll into Layer launch over the next, you know.
Yeah, but we're happy to support. We're happy to work with anybody that needs us in any chain. That's what we're positioning ourselves to be able to do.
Yeah. So. Cool.
Yeah, it looks like you answered the other one that I was thinking of. You answered it in the chat. So
Nice. Yeah. And like we said, we also like the people who fork us and use us too. You know, some people are anti-fork projects, but projects that fork us and actually use us, the more people using a project, the more secure it gets, the more eyes on it, people looking at code, it's all positive. So, you know, we're big fans of the open source community and just keeping it as open source as humanly possible. So anyway, thanks everyone. Talk to you next week.